Hey everyone, Chris here with more stories in cardboard. Today I'm doing an update on my 1954-55 Parkhurst set build. Since the last video I made, I was able to pick up 6 new cards to go with this set. So it brings me to a total of 38 of the 100 cards. The first one I'm going to show, this is Ken Mosdell, card number 12. He played for the Montreal Canadiens. And this is part of the special designated All-Star. What they did with the All-Star cards is they were different from the regular cards that showed the action shots during the games. This shows a photo against a white background with the star, which designates that they were an All-Star the previous year. He was a defensive-minded forward and was a 5-time All-Star and won 4 Stanley Cups with the Canadiens. I think this is just a great-looking card against the background of that white with the star up there in the left-hand corner. And then the next card we have card number 17. This is Harry Watson of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. One of the other things that I really like about this set is how they did the subject of the card in color, and then the action shot that's going on in the game they did in black and white, which I really think brings an extra artistic value to these cards. Now, Watson was a left winger who won 5 Stanley Cups. He won 4 with Toronto during their heyday of a dynasty, and then he also won 1 with Detroit. He missed 2 years of playing when he was in the Royal Canadian Air Force. And again, he is a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. The next card we have here is Hall of Famer Red Kelly. Again, this is the All-Star designation here. And Kelly, just a great all-around player. In 2017, he was named one of the greatest 100 players of all time. And he won 8 Stanley Cups, which is more than any other player that did not ever play for the Montreal Canadiens. He's pretty high on the list of Stanley Cup wins as well. The only 2 that come to mind that I can think of right offhand that won more are Jean Beliveau and Rocket Richard. There may be a couple others, but those are the 2 that come to my mind right now. Now, like I said, he won 4 Stanley Cups. He won 4 with Detroit, and he won 4 with Toronto. He was later traded to Toronto, but he was a first-team All-Star defenseman 6 times and won the Norris Trophy for the top defenseman in the league the first year that award was given out. And like I said, he also was a 4-time Lady Bean Trophy winner, which is given to the most gentlemanly player. Now, not only was he a nice guy, I guess, but he was also a tough guy because he played most of the 1958-59 season on a broken ankle. Like I said, he was traded to the Maple Leafs, and when he was traded there, they wanted him to be a little more offensive-minded, so they moved him to center, and he really flourished in that role. At the time of his retirement, he only trailed Gordie Howe for total number of games played. Just a great-looking card of a great player that I think is really kind of underappreciated for a Hall of Famer. Now, this next card, this is one of those lucky premium backs. And these cards, so basically you had 2 types of backs. You had the lucky premium card where you could send in and get prizes, and you also had some that had the bio write-ups on the back. Now, one thing I've learned as I've started putting these together, the set together, is I really like the bio backs. So I think in the future I am going to focus on getting the ones with the bios on the back. Unless I can get a good deal on the card, then I would probably go with the lucky premium back. So this is card number 47. This is Keith Allen, showing him in his Detroit Red Wings uniform. Again, I love this pose. This is just a fantastic pose here with the 2 players in the background and him skating across the ice here. Now, he's a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame also, but not because of his on-ice ability. Allen was the first head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, and he became their GM in 1969 and is largely credited with building the famed Broadstreet Bullies that won back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1975 and 1976. So he is definitely a very important part of hockey history. Now the next card I have here, this is card number 67. This is Leo Reise, actually Leo Reise Jr. His father, Leo Reise Sr., was also a hockey player. Now, he played for the, well, this shows him in a Rangers uniform, but he also played for the Detroit Red Wings. And now, in spite of scoring only 4 goals all season in 1950, he scored 2 overtime goals in the 1950 Stanley Cup semifinals, one being in Game 7 to eliminate the 3-time defending champions, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So because of his series-winning goal, he kind of kept the Maple Leafs from going for a 4th straight Stanley Cup. Now, one thing you may or may not know about that 1950 series, it was a bloodbath. Very physical, several fights broke out, and that is the series where Gordie Howe was knocked out and taken off the ice on a stretcher. They did go on to win the Stanley Cup that year, also against the New York Rangers. And the last card I have, this is card number 80. This is really interesting. This is George G. And if you look at his write-up here, it doesn't really paint him as a very good player. So he had kind of a nondescript hockey career, but he is the guy who got the assist to Leo Reise in that 1950 semifinal Game 7. So he does have a little bit of a part in hockey history. This shows him in a Chicago Blackhawks uniform, which I love these old Blackhawk uniforms. I think they're great, and I think this is a really great looking pose here. So that's all I have for today. Like I said, I am now up to 38 of the 100 cards. I appreciate everyone that watched. I just appreciate you coming along with me on my card collecting journey, and we will see you next time.